He built the diner to bring people together, a place where kindness was supposed to be served alongside every plate. But on a quiet Tuesday morning, Marcus Johnson walked into his own restaurant, disguised as an ordinary customer. No one knew who he really was. He wanted to see how his employees treated people when no one was watching. What he discovered that day shattered everything he believed about loyalty, equality, and humanity, because one sentence, spoken so casually, exposed the ugly truth beneath his dream. Stay till the end. You won't forget this story. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Marcus had once been the dishwasher in a small-town diner, the only black man in the kitchen, often ignored, sometimes disrespected. But he had ambition bigger than any insult thrown his way. Years later, after saving every cent and working sleepless nights, he finally owned a diner of his own, a warm, welcoming place that became the pride of the community. He believed in fairness. He believed in opportunity. To him, race never defined worth. Character did. But as his business grew, Marcus had to step back, trusting managers and staff to handle daily operations. The diner expanded, the profits rose, and everything seemed perfect, at least from the outside. Then came the whispers. A friend mentioned a complaint, a black customer who left feeling humiliated. Marcus brushed it off at first until another one came. And another. He knew he couldn't rely on reports anymore. So one morning, without warning, he went undercover to see the truth for himself. The bell above the door jingled as Marcus stepped in. The air smelled of coffee and butter, the way it always had. The walls were lined with photos, smiling customers, cheerful staff, reminders of the family he thought he'd built. He took a seat near the corner. The waitress glanced at him once, then looked away. No greeting, no smile. She moved on to another table, where two white men had just sat down, greeting them warmly, even laughing at their jokes. Marcus watched quietly. He noticed how quickly they were served and how attentively she checked on them. Meanwhile, a black couple seated 2 tables away waited nearly 15 minutes before their order was taken. When their food finally came, it was wrong, yet they received no apology. Something inside Marcus twisted. He'd seen this story before, just never in his own diner. When his turn came to order, the waitress spoke curtly, eyes averted. The plate she set down moments later clattered against the table, a half-hearted gesture that made her disinterest loud and clear. Marcus's heart sank deeper with every passing second. He wasn't just witnessing bad service. He was witnessing quiet cruelty, and then it happened. The door opened. A young black man, dressed neatly, stepped inside. He looked nervous but hopeful, holding a resume in his hand. Marcus's diner had a "Now Hiring" sign posted, and this man had come chasing a dream, the same dream Marcus once had. He approached the counter and politely asked if they were still hiring. The waitress didn't even look at his resume. She smirked, tilted her head, and said the words that froze Marcus in place. "We already have enough of your kind in the kitchen." The young man's shoulders fell. Without another word, he turned and left. Marcus couldn't move. His chest felt tight, his throat dry. Around him, customers continued eating as if nothing had happened. But to Marcus, time had stopped. He'd just watched his own staff commit the very kind of discrimination he had fought his entire life to overcome. Marcus rose from his seat, his pulse pounding in his ears. Every face in the diner blurred as his focus narrowed on the waitress. He wanted to scream, to demand answers, but he kept his composure. Rage wouldn't fix what was broken here. Truth would. He walked to the counter, placed his receipt down, and pulled a sleek black card from his wallet. The name glimmered under the light. Marcus Johnson, owner and founder. The manager, who had been chatting nearby, looked up, his smile fading as realization hit. The waitress's eyes widened. Silence swept through the diner like a cold wind. Marcus spoke only once, his tone calm but cutting. He didn't need to shout. The truth spoke louder than anger. The manager tried to stammer an excuse, but Marcus simply turned and left, leaving the entire diner frozen in shame. Outside, the sunlight hit his face, but it didn't warm him. His dream, the one built on equality and second chances, now felt hollow. The people he had trusted had poisoned it from within. For the first time in years, Marcus felt like that young dishwasher again, unseen, unwelcome, and betrayed. Marcus shut down the diner the very next day. To the public, he called it renovations. Inside, he tore everything apart, not the walls or chairs, but the system. He held private meetings with his staff, confronting them with what he had seen. Some wept in shame, others tried to justify their behavior, but Marcus stood firm. The waitress was dismissed, the manager demoted, and mandatory anti-bias training was launched across every branch of his business. But Marcus didn't stop there. He created a new program, one that gave opportunities to young people of color looking for jobs in hospitality. The same kind of person that Waitress had dismissed with a single cruel sentence. Months later, when the diner reopened, its motto had changed. A sign by the entrance read, "Customers noticed the difference." The smiles were genuine now. The service was equal. And for Marcus, the diner finally became what it was meant to be, a place of belonging, not judgment. He never forgot that day or that sentence. It became his reminder that racism doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers, and silence lets it grow. How many more dreams must break before we finally learn to see each other as human? Tell me, which country and city are you watching from? Take care.